Now there's two words in the English language that's sounds very much like they mean flabbergasted and befuddled. And befuddled and flabbergasted are really the type of things that I'm interested in doing. So I like this first trick will be really flabbergasting and befuddling. But you have to watch close, because you'll notice on your right is a rope with a knot in it. And this one doesn't have a knot. If you don't remember that, you won't be befuddled or flabbergasted.
I'll try to remember.
Yeah. So now, I'm proud of this because I made up this trick myself, and most magicians have to look at books from the great masters of old, but I have this gift. I don't have too many gifts, but I have the gift for making up my own tricks. So, there's another reason I'm proud of it too, which I'll tell you later. But watch this knot now, and this is a jumping knot. And this is called the jumping knot of Istanbul. Now remember, the knot is on your right. Now I'm going to twirl these together, say the secret magic word. No offense, it doesn't have to be secret.
I was wondering why I couldn't hear it.
Okay, I'll watch. You'll be flabbergasted and amazed. You'll see that jump right from there to here.
I'm flabbergasted.
Well, yes.
That's terrible.
Wow.
When I do this, sometimes in the audience I'll see people's eyes roll even. It's so magical, their eyes roll. Not to throw around medical terms, but I can see some serious flabbergastation. It's starting to set in, and so I say, take a couple deep breaths. It's not real magic, just illusion. So now the other reason I'm really proud of this is that happened to be, this was back quite a few years ago when President Bush was in the president, that the Queen of England came over, and she apparently heard about my act, and she kind of snuck in and sat in the back, inconspicuously. But when I did this trick, she couldn't contain herself. She said, "If you're a magician, I'm the Queen of England." And I'm a magician, so.
So she had to be the Queen of England.
And really commanding voice.
Well,
Wow.
You started with the best one first.
Yeah.
Amazing.
And
that's why I'm standing in the kitchen. I can only stand it so.
and she said that I'd like to see you do that with two different colored ropes. Well, I thought, gee, if she comes back, I don't want to disappoint her, so I got out to the magic shop as soon as I could, spent a lot of money for two different colored ropes. Got a red one and a white one, and exactly the same length, especially this one. And now I'm going to tie the jumping knot.
Appears to be an ordinary knot.
Yeah. Okay. Now, once I got this, spent all the money for this, I realized, I thought, gee, this is not going to work. But then, being the creative genius that I am on magic, I thought, wouldn't it be really amazing if not only the knot jumped from your right to the left, but the knot and the rope would jump from the right to the left.
That would be just amazing.
Yeah, two miracles.
I haven't seen this magic.
Two miracles for the price of one. So let's give it a try here.
Don't forget to say the magic word.
I'm sorry.
Hey, it didn't work.
I'm sorry about that. Only the knot jumped, not the rope.
Well,
you can't win them all.
that one didn't work at all.
Yeah.
All right.
Wow.
Okay. Now I found that if you give the knot a little massage and a little squeeze, I can turn that knot into a sliding knot. Not only a jumping knot, but a sliding knot. And with a little practice, I found that I could actually slide that right off the rope. Okay, now, I said it's a jumping knot, so if I get a little pixie dust, it doesn't take much, just a little, just a little. Oh, did you see that jump?
Holy cow.
Yeah. Now when I'm done, I don't leave the nut on there. What I do is I don't slide all the way off, but I dismantle it. So otherwise it'll jump back to Istanbul, and we don't want that. Yeah. So after I'm all done, people usually after the show
That is
come up to me. Somebody will come up to me and says, "Now, is this trick really from Istanbul?" And I say, "Absolutely 100%, except for the Istan part."
From Bull.
That was good.
Now, a year or so ago, Brett told me about this program called Through the Wormhole. And that is if you are by a random number generator and think some strong thoughts, that those thoughts will actually affect the numbers in that random generator. So now I'm gonna also try to prove something, that when people do scientific studies, I think that their thoughts in figuring about how that study will come out may even affect those studies. So using the cards, we're just going to try one thing, and that is trying to prove the theory or the old saying that the opposites attract. So what we're going to do is I'm going to throw out a mental picture that I'm going to shuffle the cards while we're thinking opposites attract, and then I'm going to divide the cards in two piles and have you take one pile in your hand, turn the card up. If it's red, you put it on your right. If it's black, you put it on your left. And every time you put down one, I'll have the pile I have, I'll put a card down next to it. And then we'll turn it over and see if a large percentage of the opposites attract. Like if you have red here, then I would have more black here. So that's
Makes sense.
that's the plan. So with that in mind, now I think you can tell that these cards are pretty well mixed up. You don't have big clumps of reds or black, they're pretty well mixed up. Okay, now think the thought, opposites attract, and I will try to do a good job of finding just about halfway here. And I'm not very adept at shuffling. When you shuffle, sometimes 2 or 3 cards will come down, and 2 or 3 more, or 1 or 2. You know, it's not exact.
Look like a good shuffle.
Yeah, I'm not a good shuffler, but I think you can tell that these cards are truly shuffled. They're not.
Yeah.
I agree.
They're not. I didn't do any sleight of hand because I'm not good at sleight of hand. This will be a little boring. I'm going to count these cards out, so we got 2 equal piles. Now you tell me which pile you want to hold in your hand and
This
deal. Okay. Now, when we were shuffling it, we were thinking opposites attract. So now I won't even pick these up because you might think I'm doing something, you know, some special sleight of hand.
All right.
So turn one card up and lay. If it's red, lay it there. If it's black, lay it there. Okay. Whenever you turn a card up, I'll put a card next to it. Okay. Must do a pretty good job of shuffling.
It's already aggravating me. Okay.
There we go.
Oh,
Lots of in a row.
Yeah.
well, finally. Boy.
Well, there's a couple anomalies, so that tells me that it's not what I'm thinking it is.
Okay. Now, if opposites attract, then we should have had more black ones over here. And we do.
Okay.
And
They're all black.
we should have more red ones over here.
Wow.
And We do.
All right.
And I shuffled them,
Yes, you did.
and I shuffled them fairly.
And I know a similar trick, but it's not even close to being like this one.
Yeah,
Darn it. All right, you got me on that one.
yeah.
The Great
Okay, now
Leap.
this is the one, now this is a sequel. This is the one that Brett knows, and you probably know because I'm sure he showed it to you. And let me just mix these up just a little bit here. And I've got to pick out some marker cards here. Okay, let's get a couple marker cards there, and I guess we can get a couple here. Okay, now Brett knows this one, but we're going to put two of these aside for just a minute. Okay. Now I'll have you hold these, and we're going to do just something different now. So we did the premise that opposites attract. Now we're going to do another experiment, or another scientific experiment, to see if we can prove that likes attract like. So here we got black, here we got red, and I'll have Brett hold this, and then one at a time, you can put down 1, 2, 3, or 4, but not equal. We try to get the pile somewhat equal, but we can put 2 here, 1 here, next time you put 3 here, and
Okay.
1 there,
Just
so
random.
forth. Yeah, random, okay.
Would you like the curtain closed?
No, we're fine, thank you.
Okay, stop at that point now.
Okay.
Now we've gone from black to red. Now let's change it and see if it's possible with the theory that we've done, that if we can change that so that you now are seeing red and black, and so just randomly put cards down again. Okay, good, keep on. And put that
You tell me
anywhere-
which pile, Gary.
anywhere you want
This
to.
one.
Now remember that I shuffled these twice
Mm-hmm.
before we put these down, so they are random. Now we'll turn these over and take out our marker cards here. And we've got a marker card somewhere there, I don't know where, but, oh, here it is.
No way.
And check those out, make sure those are
Yes,
all,
yes, they
all
are.
red and, all red and black. And these have been changed to all red and black also. And remember, I shuffled them twice.
See, I can do this trick, but not the way you just did it.
Yeah.
The way you shuffled, I couldn't even possibly have shuffled that way. And I was watching you shuffle, and I thought you messed up a couple times, and you didn't. But I thought you had.
Yeah.
But I do it totally. I do it, holding them up and looking at them and
Oh, yeah.
placing them where they tell me to place them.
Yeah, that's another way of doing it.
Yeah,
That's
but
another,
that was quite a
Yeah.
nice little twist on
Yeah.
the same trick. But it's awesome.
so now,
Very nicely done.
now I'll give you both directions on how to do both of these, and that way you can.
Yeah, the first one, I have no idea how you did that.
Yeah,
That
that's-
was pretty incredible.
Yeah, that's called the Galbraith. It's a mathematical trick. It's called the Galbraith principle. And
My favorite
he was a
mathematics.
mathematician back when, I don't know when. The trick that I did, I used pixie dust, for that trick where the jumping knot.
And it worked.
And
That was
a
pretty
couple
cool.
of years ago, an enterprising magician thought, well, pixie dust works so well, why not make magic rope or magician's rope out of pixie hair? So I was able to finally afford pixie hair rope, very expensive, but once you got a pixie hair rope, you don't need any other rope because you can do all kinds of stuff with it. And now people might think it's kind of far-fetched, pixie hair, but pixies do have hair, and it's got so much electricity at 4 times what we do that it just stands out. So if you ever seen one of those little rings with pixies on them, how the hair stands out, well, that's pixie hair rope has a lot of hair. So now one of the things you can do with pixie hair rope is you can cut it with your fingers. You don't have to have scissors. You can just cut it with your fingers. So that's one great thing about pixie hair rope. And another thing is if you rub your hand along it, put it up close to your nose, sometimes you can feel a little electrical shock from it. So go ahead and just run your hand along that and put up, sometimes you hold it close to your nose. Not everybody can feel that, but some people can. I don't know if you can or not.
Nope, I did not feel it.
No, okay. Well,
Nearly on my face.
This one's longer. Give that a try. Run your hand along it. Hold it close to your nose.
No?
No? Oh, gee. Well, a lot of times kids can do it. Now,
It's probably too humid or something. I don't know.
that could be, yeah. Yeah, the humidity is high. Let me just tie this together here. Now, with pixie hair rope, you can tie the knot and you can slide the knot. And if I untie it here, I'll have a rope this length. If I untie it here, I have a rope that length. So it's very handy. Like I have a trick where I use 3 ropes of equal length and I tie them together and I link them. So if I want to do a trick with 3 ropes of equal length, I just measure that out, cut this one. Now when I untie this one, I'll have 3 ropes of equal length.
Okay, this is another one I haven't seen.
Yeah.
Oh, geez.
So there we go. 1, 2, 3. Now we'll just put one away for just a minute here. And let's see here. Grab a hold and give it a little shake. And tie another knot. Something very, very interesting, and something that's very, very helpful, which I'll show you at the end. When you tie a knot in a rope, now a knot, if you look at it close, has 2 sections, just like our brain. And when you tie a knot in a pixie hair rope, now it has a brain, and it's a very powerful brain, and it could read my mind. So I don't even have to close my fingers, because it knows already when I do this, I'm going to cut it. So I can just, don't even have to close my fingers, and I can cut the rope wherever I want it to. Now, like I say, if I want a rope any size, if I want this size, I can make it. If I want a real short rope, I just put it down at the end here. And now, push down on that, Brad.
Okay. All right. It's
Okay.
tight. I don't want to
See,
make
it
it too
doesn't-
tight.
well, push
It's
it-
not going
yeah.
anywhere.
See, it doesn't.
I can feel it getting tighter is what I
Yeah,
can.
yeah, he's not able to slide it because once I buy the rope, it's registered to me, and the pixie hair rope is very loyal. And if another,
It would have to be.
you know, it's expensive, so if another musician would steal it, they know, and then, you know, the word gets around, they know that it won't work for them. In fact, it probably would just not work at all for anything. So let's go back here and untie this again. Okay. Okay, one more time. Oh, I ran into a lot of trouble when I first got this, because the directions had big sign, red sign that says never squeeze the 2 ropes together tightly. So one time I was playing around with it and I just saw the middle of the rope there, and I thought, well, I'm going to just squeeze that middle just a little bit. And I thought, what could possibly have happened? And I squeezed it, and the ends switched from there to here, and the middle switched from here to there. I thought, well, that's not bad. That's kind of magical. No problem there. Until I went to do something, and the middle came off.
Oh no.
In a panic, I put it back on, but I realized then that I put it on the end and the middle should be in the middle. So I put it back in the middle.
Sorry.
And it
I like
stayed.
that.
And it stayed. Well, problem solved. Problem solved. You know, I got that problem solved. Fine. Whoops. Then the ends come off. Wow. I thought, well, I could try to get these back on. Wow. They went back on. So I thought, problem solved. No, it's getting worse. So I got the directions out and I read them, and it says what happened is when you pinch it, it short circuits it and the electricity goes out. And what you have to do is find kind of a spot in there where you don't feel the electric, and then cut it, and then rub it on some material. So I rubbed it on some material. And now it says if it stays together, try putting the ends back on. Okay. So. Oh.
I'm glad you got this on film.
So.
YouTube's gonna love this shit. Sorry.
So, now, I said at the end I do something that is very, very helpful. So at the end, I cut the rope again, and I tie a granny knot. Yeah, I got enough rope for a great granny knot. And even a great granny knot. Now that's a brain. That's a super brain. Okay, now I got one more rope here. Tie another granny knot because two are better than one. And well, I got room for a great granny knot. And not enough for a super knot. That's okay. Now, what I do is get some pixie dust. Yeah. Sprinkle a little pixie dust on. And you don't have any questions about it, do you? No questions? Okay. Look, a little more pixie dust. Sprinkle on, sprinkle on. Okay, now, I don't leave the knots on here. What I do is I take them off and put it in my pocket.
Oh my God, that was great.
Yeah. And this one too. Take it off. Carry it in my pocket. So, now, with these knots in my pocket, in fact, I usually carry one in one pocket, one in the other. Not that it probably makes a difference, but I got two sides of the brain, and I want one for one side, one for the other. So, with these pixie hair brains in my pocket, I get all these wonderful ideas that come to me. And people are always saying to me, where in the world did you get an idea like that? Well, I smile and I take credit for it, but I know that these ideas come from these hair brains.
Her brains.
Oh my God, that's terrible.
Yeah. Nice trick.
That was wonderful. Wow, I'm gonna have to look at that again.
Another hair brain trick from the great Lee.
Yeah. Now, we got a trick with rubber band here. And what I'll let you do, Brett, is there's a paper clip on the bottom there. Just
Okay.
take that off and take the bill off. Make sure that's a solid bill and there's nothing goofy about that bill.
$1.
Looks like $1.
Put it back on the bottom thing again. Turn it
The way it was?
The way it was on the bottom rung.
That's the right way?
Yeah. That's it.
Like
And
that.
Put the paper clip on the bottom.
Doesn't look like the way I took it off, but anyway,
Uh,
I think I messed it up.
yeah, that's good. Okay. Now, rubber band molecules are really strange. They're kind of a zigzag pattern. And if I strum them, get them strumming with my fingers, sometimes I can, and I push up at the same time, sometimes I can get this band, or the bill to go from this band to this one. So I don't know, we'll give it a try. Yeah, okay, good. I'm going to try one more, see if I can get go with that one there. Okay, very good. Went up to the next one. One more time. And went up to the top one. So went from the bottom to the top.
Well, these are all.
That's good.
I haven't seen any.
These are new ones, yeah.
We're doing fine.
No,
You
should
want me
be
to
fine.
stand up or you?
Yeah, why don't you stand up over here? I got the band around here, and stand right over there. And what I want to do is get this band to come and jump from her hand, my hand, to her hand. So hold your hand out. Yeah, and your thumb down. Thumb down. And I'm going to see. Got to jump from my hand to her hand, which really seems kind of impossible that it could jump off of mine. And because her hand is around like this, so you'd have to, wouldn't be able to come around this way, you'd have to go around the wrist. So that's kind of a strange little rubber band trick.
That is.
Pretty neat.
Yeah.
I'm going to read it.
We've got a bag, and this is called the bag of mystery. And make it a mystery. I take the rope, put the middle in the bag, so the ends will always stay in view. And now I take the ring, put it in the rope, and at the count of 3, I drop the bag, and the mystery will be that the rope will penetrate the ring. 1, 2, 3, and the rope has penetrated the ring. Now, if I would just do this, for example, out in the open, if I would just put it on here and pull it through here out in the open, there would be no mystery. Like that, there'd be no mystery. So that's why the bag is so important. So this is the bag of mystery, and that's the most important part of the video. In fact, if Elaine is not paying attention to me for a while, I'll walk around with this bag on my head.
Fair enough.
Pretty soon she'll notice, say, well, I'm married to a man of mystery. Boy, I get good treatment after that.
You believe that?
These are Chinese linking rings. I used to make a big point of that, but now everything comes from China, so that's no big deal.
Right.
Okay, now, my job is really difficult. I got to make the rings link and unlink. Your job is easy. All you have to do is remember which ring is which. So this is ring number 4. This is ring number 3 over here. Ring number 2 and ring number 1. Now, if I rub ring number 1 against ring number 2, like that, after a while I'll notice that they're linked together. And if I'm careful, if I'm really careful, I can drop one ring upon the other and they don't come apart. The weight of the top ring does not pull that one apart. And they're together. Now, some so-called magicians use the finger method to link the rings. And they put their finger in there and keep it moving if they're a little distance while people think it's linked, but yeah, it's pretty sleazy magic if you ask me. Now, some magicians use the thumb method. I use the thumb method quite a bit. Now, the thumb method also works very good for getting the ring off. So I'll use the thumb method right here. There we go.
No way.
There's an easy way to link them like that. Or you can use a little force and knock it against like that and get it to come apart. And
Magic is so frustrating.
It's beautiful though. Oh my God.
now sometimes I'll have if I doing a show, I'll have somebody from the audience come up and I show them how to link and unlink, and I pretend that they're doing it. Of course, they're not doing it, and the audience gets a big kick out of it, but won't do that here. But it shows whether it's kids. I have a little kid come up, and I'll say, now, adults can do this, and it took me 2 months to learn the beginner's link. And so I take 2 rings here, and I say, now with the beginner's link, what you got to do is you say the secret magic word that they teach you, and it's in Chinese, rinky dinky, linky linky. And then you squeeze it, and if you're, and so it took me 2 months to learn this, but then you find you have linked it, you got them linked. And then you just give them a little spin. Now the spin doesn't mean anything, but it impresses the audience.
Showmanship.
And I give this to the kid and have him hold it that way, and they say rinky dinky, linky linky, and I step forward and say, you can try to get it, see if they're linked, but they're not going to be linked. You won't be able to do it because you're not an adult. It takes an adult to do that. It took me 2 months. And of course, I'm stepping forward, not paying attention, and they realize that it's linked. So I say, well, I don't know how you did that. These kids are so smart nowadays. Must be computers or something. And I said, well, give it a spin. So I give it a spin, give the other one a spin, and take a bow. So that's the end of that. So.
Nice.
Yeah. So there you have. Yay!
Very nice. Thank you, Great Leini. Very impressive.
Yeah, thank you.